All right, so it looks like we got a decent fight over C cap. Looks like we have an aerial attack over B cap. And right now, what do we have to worry about? We're going all Kutuzovs. Q has murdered himself. Congratulations. No Chappies, which is something we really saw a lot of with the when it was the NA versus EU match. We saw massive hit on that Kutuzov. Try to get to one of these. Let's just get to Rhino. I know Rhino, he's a friend of the stream and a really good player. Looks like they're trying to take C-Cap, but with the other destroyers locations. Not really known too much. You know, one's south side of C. We know one's kind of the south side of B, but other than that, not too much has gone out, but one of Fog's Kutuzov's got a smack and is down to about a third life. There was one of the destroyers as well. Looks like most of the destroyers... Looks like all the destroyers, both Bensons on TSF, are actually rolling the health skill, while the one Benson I did see from Fog is not rolling the health skill. And good dodge right there by Wings, just kind of hanging out at C-Cap.
Yeah, it looks like one of the Rebel Knight is not using the skill, but Fog Carrier Essex is actually using that on the other Benson. He's coming up the mid right now to try and contest B. But as you said, C is having a real hard problem for Fog to try and get in there. And since they've capped that pretty early, they're going to have that point advantage for quite a while. But totally different gameplay than actually last season. You know, I'm watching right now, and this is very different than what we saw last time.
Now, it looks like Fog is kind of split while... they've kind of almost mirrored themselves. You know, the two spawns are here, and it looks like some decent torps coming in on that Bismarck. He probably has sonar running, so it doesn't look like anything's really going to hit him. He looks like he's just in the way, but the spawns are kind of split. So we have TSF mainly above C-Cap, which they were able to take, and then ooh, is that Bismarck? Nice miss right there. But other than that, we have more of Fog on the bottom side of A-Cap, which they haven't been able to cap yet. Looks like Fog is going in for the cap on B, but he was pushed out either by plane or by something else. But that Fog Kutuzov being so low, he has to be really careful. Only 16,000 life, and with everything being able to focus it with having so many ships on that C-Cap for TSF, you know, one salvo, I mean, a full life cruiser can get absolutely taken out, as well as the Bismarck getting knocked down a little bit. A Kutuzov, one Citadel, and he's basically done.
Yeah, you see Genocide 24 coming in on the A-Cap here in his Kutuzov, and that's really going to help them get some cap points and hopefully try and equalize things out. But they've got a cap B. They do have that Benson fogged up in the mid there that probably you can't see right now, but he's hanging out, trying to get close to the cap, trying to make sure he doesn't get killed by all these torps that are coming into the smoke. And they are going to try and contest C as well, but I don't know how they're going to do that, because I can see that the the TSF has just a massive pile of units in that fog right there holding C-Cap down. So they are going to throw some torps into it and try and flush them out, but that's going to be a real hard nut to crack there.
I mean, just look at Fog Cruiser Chikuma and the Kutuzov right behind him. They are completely getting picked on and have no cover. If that Kutuzov goes down, that is a massive loss for the team. Not only a Kutuzov, which is a huge offensive threat for any team, but as well as just losing that extra smoke generator, which is why the Kutuzov is such a dangerous ship. Snoop Duck right in the middle, C-Cap getting absolutely picked on right now by a few ships. But
smoke.
But can they get that Kutuzov down? One less. Can the blind shot get him? I don't know if he can.
Oh man, no,
Super close.
I don't know. He's still got. Oh, I don't know. A couple shots just landed. He's at 1,500, but they've stopped firing on him. He had to use that emergency smoke, but down that Bismarck is open for them to start firing back on, and he is at half health as well. So if they could take out a Bismarck for the trading of a good amount of health on that Kutuzov, I mean, that guy can stay up smoke and be fine for the rest of the battle and not worry about that he's got low hit points. But he's just got to be really careful.
Well, right now, basically the CVs are kind of canceling each other out. There's not too much. The smoke is going down for Wild Wings, but if you can see the size of that Bismarck, they're going to have a general idea these guys are good enough to shoot in that smoke. And that smoke might actually be a tad off, but he's going to get spotted by planes. And if a fire sticks here, he's going to be in some definite trouble. But Snoop Dogg looks like he's going to get away with maybe 26,000, 27,000 and be able to heal up probably back to about low 30s. If I'm Snoop Dogg right now, I don't think a blind shot into that smoke is that bad. You said he's sitting about 1,500 or so. The chance is there.
That's yeah, and I think his smoke is going to run out, in the next 20 or 30 seconds. So he's going to have to either move or stop firing or something. Yeah, that Bismarck has disappeared, and Fog is having a problem trying to find it again. They were not able to contest B, and now they've dropped back off of it, almost losing, a ship there as well. Benson started taking some serious fire, and said the aircraft are pretty much not doing much right now. They're pretty much just spotting each other, and though not very effectively at B, as looks like TSF is probably going to take B as well.
Let's go. We got Rhino sitting on B cap, kind of holding down and making sure nothing gets him, but we have at least a destroyer or two sitting there for the red team for Fog, and the air has been 100% won by Shokaku, who did a really good job with getting a massive strafe. So Rhino kind of trying to stay alive, but Essex and another the Shiratsu just sitting there as well. He knows the potential for a lot of torpedoes coming in from both of those guys without having the ability for the friendly spot because of the loss of air control. So Merrill's right there, maybe trying to drag some fire away, which he's kind of doing. Rhino putting some shots in on the Shiratsu, but nothing much. If I'm Rhino, I probably try to escape, but he's going to be perma-spotted. And against the Benson, a NorCal, a Bismarck, I mean, everything within like 10 kilometers, that's pretty freaking scary. And there is that Kutuzov. If he can hit him, I don't think Snoop Duck's going to have the range, but Rhino's going to have to try to get away. He's holding down that B cap, which is really, really important, because if they roll out, they're 100% going to cap it away.
And just shortly, Sir Robert Whitney, who was in that Japanese destroyer, definitely launched their torps, hit that reload, and then launched again. And that's the power of that new DD with that torpedo reload at tier 7.
Down goes that Kutuzov, so that is a big kill for them. Not only is that thing a massive offensive threat off the map for Fog, but a loss of smoke, a loss of AA, a loss of all that extra assistance that a good cruiser can do. That's a really big loss for them, but TSF has had to pull back from BCAP, so they're going to continue to lose the air cover. Looks like TCN may get a good strafe there. Doesn't actually get all of them, but looks like he will start to take over BCAP again, and maybe they'll start to be able to push back in with some more air cover and some more vision, which they're really lacking, losing the air battle right now.
Yeah, they've smoked up, of course, right outside the ACAP with those two big battleships there, Fog Battleship Yamato and Wrestling Bear. But the Bismarck was on fire and burned for quite a while, and there's a bunch of torpedoes coming in.
I'm watching the smoke, and I think somebody might take a torp or two, because I'm seeing secondaries off. There's one hit. There's 3 hits.
Oh, there's more coming. There's more.
2, 3, 4. Wow, look at that shot, man. And that is that wow factor of the Shiatsu, of just the double load on both of those torps. What a crazy torp spread you can do in that ship, and I love it. And I don't know if you saw it, the Fog carrier Shokaku took a really big hit. If you can see that lone dive bomber just keeping that Shokaku spotted, I think Snoop Duck put a pretty solid hit on him, taking him down to about half health. But what a massive loss for that battleship, and more torpedoes are going in. I don't know what else is in that smoke. I'm assuming it's the other Kutuzov, Genocide, but
no,
he took at least one.
It's actually the other North Carolina, which did take a couple torps as well, and that smoke is going away. You're going to see that North Carolina quite shortly.
Now, I assume he took at least 1 torp in that, so he's probably took flooding. Maybe he got really lucky and didn't take flooding. So if he takes another one, he's going to be stuck with the flooding, which is crazy damage. At least 2.
Oh, manages to dodge that second torp, though, and they run out of speed. But still took another, and on fire now. It doesn't look like he can repair, so he's got to back out there. And, man, I think that's going to be a second battleship that's going to go down. I don't see how he can get out in time.
I'm just kind of looking around for, let's switch over to Snoop Duck, who was kind of getting picked on, able to take down. If they can take down a Benson as well, they have the cruiser advantage, battleship advantage, and then a DD advantage would be really big. Shokaku's kind of all by himself, so he's got to start moving to the west, or else he's going to be kind of stuck back there where rogue DD could even potentially go kill him, because a fighter, Shokaku, can't really do too much. And look at Fog Battleship Yamato over there in that corner. He's just burning down. No cover, no smoke. Doesn't have a DD to support him. That Kutuzov had to run. They're saying the focus down is right there. Concentrate fire. Merrill's putting out a really big smoke. You know, the Shiratsu, the tier 7 Japanese DD, that is kind of, with that torp reload, it's kind of a big hit and get out. Big hit and get out. You know, it's not going to win a fight against a Benson. It's not going to win a fight, you know, kind of YOLOing up at all. What it's going to do is going to have that big solid hit with that torp reload, Go in, do the hit, get some torp hits, and then bounce out. Wait for that reload to come in, go in again, hit the reload, put some torps in, and then bounce out. That's what he's done. So he has put the massive damage in on those battleships and that smoke, and then he's rolled out and smoked up his team. So really, really good job by Merrills. He's a really, really good player. I played with him and ranked a few times, and I loved it when he was on my team. When he was on the other team, it was a tough match. Those are probably some of my losses.
Yeah, no, I think TSF has done a really good job of making the favorable matchups for their team. They got the Japanese DD to come in there, do damage to the battleships, while also being able to just hammer down both of their DDs on Benson and the Shiratsu are both really low. I mean, sub 5k health, both of them. And they both had to pop smoke just to be safe. They're trying to contest B finally. Probably going to get some extra points here. But you look at the score, 400 to 765. Like that's a big gap that they're going to have to make up with a lot of kills. And it looks like Fog Cruiser Chikuma here is outside the smoke just enough for Snoop Duck and Crazy Cold to start taking some shots at him.
And down goes another ship. Now, I wanted to put that down is they lost their second cruiser right now who was kind of pushing up. They are taking all the caps, and they do have all their DDs. Now, Snoop Duck is relatively low. Rhino's low. They could get lucky. They do have a bit of an extra air cover from left fighter. So this game isn't over. Like I said, they are capping C right now with no contention. They still have a battleship. They are controlling all the caps. They're not in a good spot because Chikuma is kind of SOL right now, just out in the middle of nowhere getting picked on by everybody. But with a good shot there, a good shot here, this game isn't over. It's not looking good, though. At least they do have the 3 caps. Wild Wings is probably going to push this cap. I know he's going against a Benson since Sir Robert Whitney is getting taken down. He's down. Fog Cruiser is going to be next. Chikuma is just a prime target for anything. And I was going to say it's not over Q, but I think this game's pretty much over.
Yeah, so now they've got the caps and stuff. They can start, trying to close that gap, but they're gonna have to hold that for a while. And being aggressive here is not what they can do with such low health ships. And this is exactly what TSF is going to take advantage of. They're going to roll in with their battleships, with their destroyers, and actually just make their presence known on B. And really, Fog can't contest that right now. They just don't have the hit points in the right place to really deal with it. And they're just so low on ships. I mean, there's a chance here, but I think as long as TSF just stays aggressive, they have it in the bag right now.
Yeah, I mean, you have 2 Kutuzov. I mean, TSF hasn't dropped a ship yet. They had a couple of ships that are relatively low, but a Bismarck versus 1 Kutuzov is bad enough. That ship absolutely spews fire. It's like a tier 8 Zao almost. Not only having a bunch of your friends there with you that can also punch really hard, but you got 2 Kutuzovs, you got a CV giving you vision. They're not going to lose that guy. Rebel Knight is kind of their only chance for maybe a kill. I don't even think Chikuma will get a trade. Down he goes right there. Snoop Duck with a massive shot. Isn't that crazy that Snoop Duck was out in the middle? Wow, good torch.
Wow, Rebel just went down there when he was hopefully going to do some serious damage, but now they've shut down pretty much the highest health guy on their team, which was a destroyer. Oh man, I don't know. This is just kind of the swan song for Fog right now. I think they're going to have to try and readjust for round 2 here and figure out what they can do to try and get better matchups. I mean, it just seems like TSF always managed to have the right ship fighting the enemy. When they would come with a destroyer, they'd have a cruiser. They'd come with a battleship, they'd throw a bunch of torpedoes in with a destroyer. So really good job from TSF this first round. And
I gotta say, Frog Carrier Shokaku did a really good job at controlling the air. I think he actually had, and I want to see later in the game what the plane kill was, but Shokaku I think was getting some better strafes and barrages out of his fighters over TCN this first game. But of course, when you have more, when you have more friendly ships, there's no way. But I think he was doing a really good job controlling the air. So I think they won that battle. That's about the only battle they won. I think it was pretty tough for them to kind of get that 1 Kutuzov. It had to have been a Citadel at least, because he dropped down about 16k right away. So getting that shot really affected that team, because when you're a cruiser and that low, you can't play. I mean, if I'm a full life Kutuzov, I can be kind of aggressive. These guys are even scarier, so you got to be a little careful. But I can be pseudo aggressive. I can maybe poke my nose out a little bit. I can do maybe a little bit more dangerous play. At this point, when you have 16,000 life, there is no way in hell you can do anything aggressive. You have to play so defensive, which means you're going to be a lack of damage, a lack of everything. I mean, look at that. Fog Carrier Shokaku, 26 planes shot down compared to TCN, which only had 17. So Fog Carrier won the air battle, it just wasn't enough. I think the massive hit on that first cruiser really took him out of the match. He was kind of a smoke first, shoot second ship, and for having one of your cruisers be that's a pretty brutal situation. So especially not getting that kill or more of a punishment on Snoop Duck when he was sitting right in C cap all by himself. I think that was probably a missed situation right there. I think that maybe if the Fog pushes A cap a little bit more, because as you saw, they spawned more A cap and TSF spawned more C cap, but they didn't really push A cap until a little bit later. So it gave them not only point advantage, but more time to set up as well, which didn't help them in the long run.
Yeah, as you said, TSF managed to take that early cap, and I think that really made it so, Fog had to be aggressive in order to sort of take that point lead back, and they were never really able to do it. And then, unfortunately, and in being aggressive, said they'll almost destroyed their Kutuzov. They lost a lot of ships. That torp run on those battleships there, I mean, both the North Carolina and the other Bismarck just took a ton of damage. I mean, Bismarck going down. Really, really good job from TSF. I mean, not losing a ship, pretty impressive, but I don't know, some of those ships got pretty close to dying. So I think I really do think Fog can reorient here and come back and do and bring another good round 2 and probably take it from them, because I didn't feel like it was really a stomp from TSF. As you said, the carrier play from the Fog Carrier Shokaku, great job controlling the map. I mean, I could see the entire basically battle the entire time, which is great for me as a streamer, but obviously for the team is a huge asset as well. Just being able to do that is pretty crazy. But got to hand it to TSF using that Shiratsu there to just dump torpedoes repeatedly. So much damage on it, and yeah, the torp consumable reload has quite a cooldown on it, so you can't do it all the time. But every time it was up, it seemed like they were doing it somewhere.
I wonder how much damage Merrill's did on that one torp run into that smoke.
Absolutely insane amounts.
I think he with only going in for a couple strikes, I guarantee you he had to have he guaranteed over 100k that game. All right, well, let's back out. Game 1 goes to TSF. Congratulations to TSF.